Yo, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to be going over this interview that Zach LaVine did. He did an interview a few days ago talking about the young Chicago Bulls, expectations, and more. So stay tuned for all that, and I'm going to be discussing it and giving my opinion on it and everything. The first question is that they asked what Zach LaVine has been up to this summer, and pretty much Zach LaVine said he's been working out a lot. I take the offseason really serious, so I've been in the gym working on my body and enjoying it as well, enjoying the little things. He said he went to vacation a few times this offseason, and he went to the Bahamas, and I know that in the Bahamas he was still training, and that's really good to see that Zach LaVine, he takes the offseason serious, and he's been grinding all offseason. I really expect him to become an all-star this season coming up, so hopefully he does. It would really help the Bulls, especially because the all-star game is in Chicago, so it'd bring some hope and some excitement back to Chicago. And then he asked, going back to working in the gym, is there anything specific that you've been working out on this summer? And Zach said, every year when you go into the off season, you pick apart what you did good and what you did bad. A lot of people try to focus on the bad, and I try to focus on the good, because once you become that elite player and work on those skill sets that you're already good at, that's how I feel like you progress even more. Like I said, I'm not going to read it all, but he said the biggest thing for him was to stay healthy, obviously, because he tore his ACL last year. And other than that, I'd say he pretty much stayed healthy. I know, of course, he's hopefully working on his defense, because I feel like that's the weakest part of his game. But his offense is, amazing. He's a walking bucket. And then the next question he asked, was it disappointing to be shut down for the remainder of the season in the last month? Because, the Bulls were pretty much, we weren't making the playoffs or nothing. It was pretty much pointless to play our starters to get a better draft pick, and hopefully nobody gets injured or, has a serious injury. And Zach said, yeah, that's tough, man. Of course it was tough. He said he wanted to play all 82. He said he wants to play all 82 next year, so hopefully he does. He also said he doesn't want to go home in April. He's been in the NBA for 5 years, going on 6, and he's had some big games in the NBA, but he's never played in a playoff game. And I know him and all the young Bulls and the Bulls team are really high on themselves and truly expect to make the playoffs this year. So I truly hope they all do. It'd really be good for our organization, our fans, and everything. And it just, like I said, it brings some excitement back to Chicago. And he also said, you guys have a young core, but also added a few vets this summer. Do you feel like the Bulls are being slept on in the playoff conversation out east? And Zach said, of course, but I feel like that's the way it has to be, though. Until you show the caliber of play that you guys are capable of, you're going to get slept on, which I agree with. The Bulls have done pretty much nothing. We've been a laughingstock the past few years. So he also said, he has a chip on his shoulder, and it's always good to surprise people. So I truly expect the Bulls to break out this year and make the NBA playoffs. And he also said, you and Otto Porter only got to play 15 or so games together, but what does he bring to the table, and what do you see as far as your games meshing together on the wing? And LaVine said Otto's a great support player, man. He does everything the team asks. He does all the dirty work. He's somebody that can guard multiple positions and score the ball in different ways. When he was in Washington, I feel like me and him had a little bit of the same situation, where he was in the corner a little bit, and that was his role, to shoot threes and play defense, and they didn't get to see his whole game. Somewhat how I was in Minnesota. I was still able to show my scoring and stuff like that, but then you go to a new team and that lets you open up your game a little bit more. Shows pretty much all of what you can do. He brings a lot to the table. I really like Otto Porter Jr. I believe he is a really underrated small forward in this league, and I feel like, last year, the Bulls played amazing when he got traded over, so I truly expect Otto to be a great building piece in this rebuild and hopefully on our playoff run. And then he said, which young player on the roster are you excited to see take another step forward next season? And LaVine said Wendell Carter. I am 100% with him. He's a defensive machine. He's amazing. He's pretty much our corner piece of our defense, I feel like. He was starting to get into a groove finally, and then he got injured. And that's one of the worst things in all sports. It's upsetting, but he's been in the gym working all year. And like I said, he's a great defender, and LaVine just kept saying that. And I know Wendell Carter Jr. has been working on his post game this year, so hopefully his post scoring around the hoop is a little bit better, because I remember he missed a lot of easy layups and shots. And he also said, you guys also added Thad Young over the summer, and LaVine said, yeah, that's my guy. If you didn't know, they used to play in Minnesota together, so they kind of have a bond already. So that's good to see that our vet is already good friends pretty much with one of our star players, I'd say. And then he said, what kind of impact can he have, because we never really had a good veteran with this young group. And LaVine said it's always good to have somebody like that on the team that's been through it and been in the playoff situations and like the place we're trying to go to. He's a big team-orientated guy, uses his voice, and he's vocal, so that's good to see as a veteran. I feel like he'll be really big in training camp for us to be able to hear another voice that is respected throughout the league. I really liked the Thad Young signing. It kind of surprised me. I didn't see it coming at all this offseason, but I am really happy we signed him. I believe he'll be a great veteran to help our young guys and a great six-man. And the last question, he said, heading into a new season and coming off a breakout year, what's one aspect of your game that you feel like people are sleeping on a little bit? And LaVine said probably my playmaking ability. I feel like everyone knows I can score and put up big numbers, but I feel like I'm able to create plays off breaking down the defense for others. I got to work on my turnovers. I try to make some risky passes where you get up a little bit of tunnel vision and can make some turnovers. I agree with that. That's what Derrick Rose did a little bit. He got up in the air and kind of just threw some lazy passes. But he also said, but I feel like those aggressive plays sometimes help out your team, which is also really true. And anyways, he said the league leader in assists always has a lot of turnovers, which that's true. But as long as they're aggressive, those are okay. But with my playmaking, I feel like I can take another jump this year. So that's good to see that Zach LaVine is, confident with that. I have the ball in my hand a lot. I want to be able to play off the ball and get some easy points as well. But I've definitely been focused on my playmaking and being able to draw that double team or create a line where I can get to the hole when I need to. And then kick it out or drop it off to get easier looks from my teammates. So that's really good that Zach LaVine's working on his playmaking ability. Like I said, he can either run the point guard or shooting guard. I expect him to be an all-star. But yeah, it just sounds like all the young bulls are all working out and grinding this offseason, getting their bodies and just getting ready for the NBA season. So that's great to see. I'm really happy with this interview. It excites me as a Bulls fan. I love hearing the Bulls players talk about their season and expectations and everything. I don't think I've ever made a video like this before. So if you guys like this and want me to make more, so make sure you leave a like and go down some questions and tell me to make more videos in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.